It's actually going really well. I guess today was not one of my best days, but then again, I was playing against both LCK and SMEB, so it was to be expected. But overall, I'm really enjoying the event. I think in comparison to last year, it's really cool to see how they have transitioned from one of the smaller venues to one of the bigger ones, and just like the general atmosphere has grown immensely. So it's just really fun to be here once again. And for Barcelona as a city, it's very strange for me as a Swede to come here when back home it's like -degrees and snow, and then you come here and it's like going on a vacation almost. So just generally like getting a touch, I guess, of some sun and seeing so many familiar faces again just brightens up the mood. I think the LCS season is really long and really stressful, so I definitely agree on that point. But at the same time, I feel like All Stars was built up to be just a fun event, so people can come here unprepared and it will still be fine, and people can come here prepared and that will also be fine. For example, for myself, last year I didn't come in prepared at all. I was taking some time off since we went pretty far into Worlds, and All Stars is just a month away after the finals. But this year, I was home in Sweden already in the beginning of September, so I already had like 2 months off before we started trying out for the new team, and then I came in kind of prepared to the event, even though it wasn't necessarily intentional. But just the fact that the event is made to be for fun, I don't think it's like stressful at all for players. If anything, it's actually really relaxing to just come here and like enjoy our time with something we really enjoy doing as well. It actually feels really special to once again be chosen to represent Europe. I think last year I was kind of pushing a little bit harder to get to All Stars because I felt like I deserved it after getting top 4 at Worlds and performing the way I did. But in comparison to this year, where we had a really tough summer split especially, and even spring wasn't one of the greater ones, I didn't necessarily even expect to be at the top of the percentage ladder. I mean, I'm not completely out in the dark. I know that I'm quite famous as it is, but I expected people to vote for the likes of Forgiven or the likes of Niels. But seeing so many people still putting trust in me and generally liking how I am as a person and as a player is really heartwarming in the end, and I'm very happy to be here. I think I feel much better being the captain this year than last year, because necessarily, I mean, last year it was like a bit of a chaos afterwards, so it wasn't necessarily me rebuilding the team from scratch. It was much more just, we need players right now, we need players right now, and who do we get? And everyone was already taken, and then we ended up getting, or making a very rushed decision in getting Spirit and Gams without actually trying them out and seeing how one would fit with the other, and in the end it didn't really work out the way as it should have. So it was hard for me to just say, I'm the captain of this team, I rebuilt it, and I want to carry on with these guys for as long as possible. At the same time, I was still trying my best to really lead the guys because I felt like it was my responsibility. But I would definitely say that I feel much better with this year's roster because I was actually a big part of like the tryouts and the way we did things, rebuilding the team as a European roster, for example. And I'm proud to say that I'm once again teammates with the likes of SOAS and that we brought in talent as the likes of Caps. And I think in the long run we'll be a really strong roster, and hopefully we'll be able to stick together for more than a year because, as you said, we have been rebuilding our team way too many times now, and it's going to be interesting to see how long we can stick together, and I'm very happy to be the captain of that project. I think, well, I can't know for sure how other teams think about the whole Korean thing, but at least for myself, I feel like in the past when I've played at Worlds, since I didn't go this year, one of the bigger differences between the team I was playing at the time in comparison to the teams we're facing, especially the Korean ones, were that they were extremely good together. It wasn't necessarily like individual strength that decided who won the game or not. It was much more about how you operated together. So I feel like the fact that G2 and Splice are sticking together is just a sign of Europe slowly but surely realizing that this is how things should be done. And the fact that less Koreans are coming to Europe is also a sign of the whole like group feeling being a valuable thing now. Meanwhile, before people just looked at who is the best player in each role, and then you just put them together and hope it works out, which is basically what happened with us this year. And I think the pieces are just slowly but surely falling in place, and hopefully soon we'll have top contenders at Worlds and teams that actually stick together for more than a year. I think the marksman role right now is really bad, actually. But that's not necessarily because of marksmen themselves. It's just the way the other roles have kind of taken place is punishing the AD role in a way. So, for example, in the top lane, there's these Colossus tanks that just dominate the game for the first 30 minutes, together with the mid/jungle. So the AD role is kind of put in a place where it's not really putting too much impact on how the game turns out, and many times it's just 50-50 if you get the good team or not, especially in solo queue. And it takes you way too long time, I think, to ramp up and actually be part of the game, because now you need 2 steal items, you need an IE, and you need a Less Whisper, and on top of that you probably need a QSS or some sort of survival item before you can actually get into the fights and do something that means like a change of the game flow. And for me, if the state of AD carry is that you need 6 items, then I think it's not okay. But at the same time, I don't think you should go back to like the Yomu's power spike either, because that was one of the metas where AD carries were just dominating the whole patch. So it should be some sort of middle ground, but I guess that's really hard to find as well. And as a pro player myself, I just try to make the best out of every situation. So I don't try to put too much effort on complaining or being sad about my role going the way it is. It's just a matter of making the best out of it, yeah, and trying to contribute as much as possible. Coming here to All Stars in Barcelona is a first for me, but it was definitely a really fun experience, and the general atmosphere here in the venue is amazing, and it was really fun to be able to play on stage. And even though I fell short in the one-on-one tournament, it was great fun being up there. Thank you very much.